The great hall of the Galactic Council was alive with light. Strange crystals glowed in the walls, casting shadows that danced across the faces of hundreds of alien delegates. The air was heavy, filled with whispers, clicks, and growls from species that had gathered from every corner of the galaxy. Each one waited for the announcement, the challenge that would test them all. At the center of the hall stood the speaker, a tall alien with silver skin that shimmered like water. His voice carried across the chamber, deep and commanding. Every species, he declared, must bring forth its strongest predator. A hunter that shows the true nature of your kind. A beast that proves your right to stand among the stars. The words echoed, bouncing off the crystal walls. Silence followed, but it was not the silence of peace. It was the silence of fear, of anticipation. Delegates shifted in their seats. Some smiled with sharp teeth. Others hissed with excitement. The challenge was clear, only the most dangerous predators would earn respect here. The humans sat near the back of the hall. Their faces were calm, but inside their hearts raced. They knew what this meant. Every alien species would bring monsters, creatures bred for war, beasts with claws, fangs, and wings. Humanity had no such monsters. They had weapons, yes, but the demand was not for machines. It was for living predators. Something that could walk, stalk, and kill with its own nature. Whispers spread quickly. What will the humans bring? One alien asked, its voice a hiss. They are fragile. They are prey. They have no predator worthy of this test. Laughter followed, cruel and sharp. The humans heard it, but they did not answer. They only exchanged quiet looks, as if sharing a secret. The speaker raised his hand. You have one cycle, he said. One cycle to present your predator. Fail, and your species will be judged weak. Fail, and you will lose your place among us. The chamber erupted in noise. Delegates shouted, roared, and clicked in their own tongues. Some already spoke of the predators they would bring. The reptilian corps boasted of their scaled war beasts, creatures that could crush stone with their jaws. The winged Vela promised to unleash hunters that could dive from the skies faster than lightning. The insectoid czar whispered of swarms that stripped flesh from bone in seconds. Each species had something terrifying to show. But the humans remained quiet. Their representative, a woman named Captain Mara, stood tall but said nothing. Her eyes scanned the hall, watching the pride of the other species. She knew they underestimated humanity. She knew they believed humans were weak. And she knew that was exactly why humanity would surprise them. The council adjourned, and the delegates left the hall. But the whispers did not stop. Everywhere, aliens spoke of the challenge. Everywhere, they mocked the humans. They will bring a dog, one said with a sneer. Or perhaps a bird. Something small. Something laughable. Others laughed, imagining the shame that would fall on humanity. But Captain Mara walked with calm steps. She carried no fear, only a quiet confidence. She knew what predator humanity would bring. And she knew it would change everything. The next day, the hall was prepared for the presentation. The arena floor was cleared, surrounded by high walls of crystal. The delegates filled the seats, eager to see the predators. The air was thick with tension, every breath heavy with expectation. The first species arrived. The corps released their war beast, a massive reptile with scales like armor and eyes that burned with hunger. It roared, shaking the walls, and the crowd cheered. The Vela followed, releasing a winged predator that soared above the arena, its talons sharp as blades. The Tsar brought their swarm, a cloud of buzzing wings and snapping jaws that filled the air with dread. Each predator was more terrifying than the last. Each one proved the strength of its species. Finally, it was humanity's turn. The crowd grew silent, waiting to see what fragile humans had chosen. The doors opened, and Captain Mara stepped forward. Behind her, a small carrier rolled into the arena. The aliens leaned forward, eager to see the beast inside. The carrier opened. A small, furry creature stepped out. It had bright eyes, soft paws, and a tail that flicked lazily. It looked around the arena, unafraid, and then sat down to lick its paw. The crowd erupted in laughter. A pet, one alien shouted. They bring a pet. Others roared with amusement, their voices echoing through the hall. This is no predator. This is a toy. Humanity is weak. But Captain Mara did not flinch. She stood tall, her voice calm. This, she said, is Felis catus. A predator that has lived beside us for thousands of years. Small, yes. But deadly. Silent. Patient. Perfect. The laughter continued, but some aliens frowned. They had seen the way the creature moved. They had seen the sharpness in its eyes. It was not afraid. It was not weak. It was waiting. The cat stretched, its claws glinting in the light. The arena grew quiet. For the first time, the aliens wondered if they had underestimated humanity. For the first time, they felt a chill of suspense. The demand had been made. The predators had been brought. And humanity's choice was about to change everything. The arena was ready. The crystal walls glowed with pale light, casting long shadows across the floor. Delegates from every species filled the seats, their voices rising in a storm of noise. Today was the day. Today the predators would arrive. The gates opened, and the first ship descended. It was massive, black as stone, with engines that shook the ground. The reptilian corps stepped forward, their scales shining under the lights. Behind them, cages rolled into the arena. Inside, a beast stirred. Its body was covered in thick armor plates, its jaws lined with teeth longer than a human's hand. The creature roared, shaking the walls, and the crowd cheered. The corps smiled, proud of their monster. This, they hissed, is strength. The second ship landed soon after. Sleek and silver, it belonged to the winged Vela. Their predator was released with a cry that split the air. It spread its wings wide, feathers sharp as blades, and soared above the arena. Its talons gleamed, ready to strike. The delegates gasped as it dove, faster than lightning, before pulling back at the last moment. The Vela raised their heads high. This, they sang, is speed. Then came the insectoid czar. Their ship was small, but what it carried was worse than size. The doors opened, and a swarm poured out. Thousands of wings buzzed, thousands of jaws snapped. The air filled with the sound of hunger. The swarm moved as one, a living storm of teeth and claws. The crowd recoiled, fear flashing in their eyes. The czar clicked their mandibles in pride. This, they whispered, is endless hunger. One by one, more species arrived. Each predator was larger, louder, more terrifying than the last. The arena became a gallery of nightmares. Beasts roared, hissed, and clawed at the walls. The delegates cheered, their voices rising higher with every new arrival. The challenge was alive, and the predators were ready. But then, silence fell. The final ship descended. It was small, plain, nothing like the others. Its engines hummed softly, without power or threat. The humans stepped forward, their faces calm. Captain Mara led them, her eyes steady as she walked into the arena. Behind her, a small carrier rolled forward. The crowd leaned in, waiting to see what fragile humans had chosen. The carrier opened. A small creature stepped out. It had soft fur, bright eyes, and a tail that flicked lazily. It looked around the arena, unafraid, and then sat down to lick its paw. The crowd erupted in laughter. A pet, one alien shouted. They bring a pet. Others roared with amusement, their voices echoing through the hall. This is no predator. This is a toy. Humanity is weak. The cat ignored them. It stretched, arching its back, claws glinting in the light. Then it sat again, calm and silent, as if the chaos around it did not matter. Captain Mara stood tall, her voice clear. This, she said, is Felis catus. A predator that has lived beside us for thousands of years. Small, yes. But deadly. Silent. Patient. Perfect. The laughter continued, but some aliens frowned. They had seen the way the creature moved. They had seen the sharpness in its eyes. It was not afraid. It was not weak. It was waiting. The speaker raised his hand, silencing the crowd. His silver skin shimmered as he spoke. The predators have arrived. The test begins now. The gates closed, trapping the predators inside the arena. The beasts roared, wings beat, claws scraped against stone. The swarm buzzed, filling the air with dread. And in the center of it all, the cat sat quietly, tail flicking, eyes watching. The crowd leaned forward, eager to see what would happen next. The core war beast roared, shaking the walls. The Vela predator soared above, talons gleaming. The Tsar swarm moved closer, wings buzzing like thunder. Each predator showed its power, its strength, its hunger. But the cat did not move. It only watched, calm and patient, as if it knew something the others did not. The aliens whispered among themselves. "Why does it not move?" one asked. "Is it afraid?" Another shook its head. "No. Look at its eyes. It is waiting." Captain Mara smiled. She knew the truth. Humanity had not brought a monster of size or strength. They had brought a predator of silence, of patience, of skill. And soon, the aliens would see. The arena grew quiet. The predators circled, their eyes locked on the small creature in the center. The cat flicked its tail, its eyes sharp, its body still. The moment stretched, heavy with suspense. The crowd held its breath. The test had begun. The predators had arrived. And humanity's choice was about to prove itself. The arena was alive with sound. Roars, screeches, and buzzing wings filled the air as predators from across the galaxy showed their power. The reptilian war beast slammed its tail against the stone floor, shaking the walls. The winged predator soared high, diving with sharp talons that cut the air. The swarm of the Tsar moved like a living storm, filling the arena with dread. Every creature demanded attention, every beast proved its strength. And in the middle of it all sat the cat. Small, calm, and silent. Its fur glowed under the crystal lights. Its tail flicked lazily, as if the chaos around it was nothing more than a passing breeze. It licked its paw, stretched, and yawned. The crowd erupted in laughter. "Is this a joke?" one alien shouted, its voice echoing through the chamber. "They bring a pet to a predator's trial." Another hissed, mandibles clicking in amusement. "Fragile humans. Weak prey. They cannot even understand the meaning of predator." The laughter spread, rolling through the seats like thunder. Delegates pointed, mocked, and jeered. The humans stood silent, their faces calm, but inside their hearts burned. Captain Mara did not flinch. She stood tall, her eyes steady. She let the laughter rise, let the mockery grow. She knew what was coming. She knew the cat would prove itself. But for now, she allowed the aliens to believe their own lies. The speaker raised his hand, but even he could not silence the crowd. The laughter was too strong, too cruel. "Humanity is weak," one delegate shouted. "They will fail." Another added, "They should not stand among us. They should crawl back to their fragile world." The voices grew louder, sharper, filled with scorn. The humans were surrounded by ridicule. The cat ignored it all. It sat quietly, eyes half closed, tail flicking. But every so often, its gaze shifted. Its eyes locked onto the predators around it. The war beast. The winged hunter. The swarm. Each time, its pupils narrowed, its body stilled. It was watching. It was waiting. And though the aliens laughed, a few noticed. A few saw the sharpness in its gaze. A few felt a chill. One delegate leaned closer to another. "Do you see its eyes?" he whispered. "It is not afraid." The other shook his head. "It is too small. It cannot matter." But his voice trembled, uncertain. The mockery continued. The core roared with laughter, their scales rattling. "Our beast could crush it in one bite." The Vela sang with amusement. "Our predator could tear it apart before it even moved." The Tsar clicked their mandibles in delight. "Our swarm would strip it to bone in seconds." The crowd cheered, their voices rising higher, drowning the arena in scorn. But Captain Mara smiled. She stepped forward, her voice calm. "You laugh because you do not understand. You see size, claws, wings, and teeth. But you do not see patience. You do not see silence. You do not see skill." Her words echoed, but the crowd only laughed louder. Patience, one delegate shouted. Silence. Skill. These are not predators. These are excuses. The laughter rolled on. The cat stretched again, claws glinting in the light. It stood, tail flicking, and began to walk. Its steps were soft, silent, almost invisible. It moved with grace, weaving through the arena as if it owned the floor. The predators watched, their eyes following its path. The crowd grew quiet for a moment, then burst into laughter again. It walks like prey, one alien shouted. It hides like prey. Another added, it is nothing. But the silence between the laughter was growing. The cat's movements were too smooth, too precise. It was not wandering. It was stalking. And though the aliens mocked, their voices carried a hint of unease. Captain Mara spoke again. This is Felis catus. It hunts not with noise, but with silence. It kills not with size, but with precision. It waits, it watches, and when the moment comes, it strikes. Her words were calm, steady, filled with quiet power. The crowd laughed, but some shifted in their seats. Some felt the weight of her words. The war beast roared, shaking the walls. The winged predator dove, talons gleaming. The swarm buzzed, filling the air with dread. But the cat did not flinch. It sat again, tail flicking, eyes sharp. It was waiting. And the aliens began to wonder, waiting for what? The laughter grew weaker. The mockery lost its strength. The crowd still jeered, but their voices carried doubt. They had seen the cat's eyes. They had seen its silence. They had felt its patience. And though they mocked, they could not shake the unease that crept into their hearts. The speaker raised his hand again, and this time the crowd fell silent. His silver skin shimmered as he spoke. The predators have been presented. The test will continue. Let us see which hunter proves its worth. His voice carried across the chamber, heavy with authority. The laughter ended. The mockery faded. The arena grew quiet. The cat sat in the center, calm and silent. Its eyes glowed under the crystal lights. Its tail flicked, its body stilled. It was waiting. And though the aliens had mocked, though they had laughed, they now watched with unease. The predator's trial had begun. And humanity's choice was ready. The arena was silent. The laughter had faded, leaving only the sound of wings beating and claws scraping against stone. The predators circled, restless, their eyes glowing with hunger. The humans stood tall, their faces calm. And in the center of it all sat the cat, small and quiet, tail flicking as if it owned the floor. The speaker raised his hand. The test begins now, he declared. His silver skin shimmered under the crystal lights. Let the predators show their nature. The war beast roared first. Its armored body shook the ground as it charged forward, jaws wide, teeth gleaming. The crowd cheered, their voices rising in excitement. The beast slammed into the wall, claws tearing at the stone, its roar echoing through the chamber. It was power, raw and unstoppable. The winged predator followed. It soared high, wings spread wide, then dove with speed faster than lightning. Its talons scraped the floor, leaving deep marks in the stone. The crowd gasped, their eyes wide. It was speed, sharp and deadly. The swarm moved next. Thousands of wings buzzed, filling the air with dread. The storm of jaws and claws moved as one, circling the arena, stripping everything in its path. The crowd recoiled, fear flashing in their eyes. It was hunger, endless and merciless. And then, the cat moved. It rose slowly, stretching its body, claws glinting in the light. Its eyes narrowed, pupils sharp, gaze locked on the swarm. The crowd leaned forward, curious. The predators roared, hissed, and buzzed, but the cat did not flinch. It walked with soft steps, silent and smooth, weaving through the arena as if it owned the floor. The swarm shifted, a small creature breaking from the storm. It scurried across the floor, fast and desperate. The cat's eyes locked onto it. Its body stilled, tail flicking once. Then, in a flash, it pounced. The movement was silent, precise, unstoppable. The cat struck with claws and teeth, faster than the eye could follow. The small creature squealed once, then fell silent. The cat stood over it, calm, eyes glowing. The crowd gasped. It was not size. It was not strength. It was skill. The laughter ended. The aliens stared, their voices caught in their throats. They had seen the cat move. They had seen its silence, its precision, its deadly grace. It was not prey. It was predator. The war beast roared again, charging toward the cat. Its jaws snapped, teeth gleaming. The crowd cheered, certain the cat would be crushed. But the cat did not run. It stood still, eyes locked on the beast. At the last moment, it darted aside, faster than the beast could follow. Its claws scraped the beast's nose, leaving a mark. The war beast roared in pain, shaking its head. The crowd gasped again. The winged predator dove, talons sharp, wings cutting the air. The cat crouched low, eyes sharp, tail flicking. At the last moment, it leapt aside, claws flashing. The predator's talons scraped the floor, missing their mark. The cat landed smoothly, calm and silent, as if nothing had happened. The crowd stared, their voices gone. The swarm circled again, wings buzzing, jaws snapping. The cat crouched low, eyes glowing, body still. It waited, patient, silent. Then it struck. It darted forward, claws flashing, teeth sharp. One by one, small creatures fell, silent and still. The swarm recoiled, fear flashing in their movements. The crowd gasped, their eyes wide. The cat sat again, tail flicking, eyes calm. It licked its paw, stretched, and yawned. The predators roared, hissed, and buzzed, but the cat ignored them. It had shown its nature. It had proven its worth. It was predator. Captain Mara stepped forward, her voice calm. "This is Felis catus," she said. "It hunts with silence. It kills with precision. It waits, it watches, and when the moment comes, it strikes. Small, yes. But deadly. Perfect." The crowd was silent. No laughter, no mockery, only awe. They had seen the cat move. They had seen its skill. They had seen its patience. And they knew the truth, humanity had brought a predator. The speaker raised his hand, his silver skin shimmering. "The demonstration is complete," he said. His voice carried across the chamber, heavy with authority. "The predators have shown their nature. And humanity's choice has proven itself." The crowd remained silent, their eyes locked on the cat. It sat calmly, tail flicking, eyes glowing. It had no fear, no weakness. It was predator. And though the aliens had mocked, though they had laughed, they now watched with respect. The demonstration was over. The predators had shown their power. And humanity's cat had shown its skill. The trial was not finished, but the truth was clear. Humanity had brought a predator. And it was enough, the arena was quiet now. The roars of beasts had faded, the laughter of aliens had died. All eyes were fixed on the small creature in the center. The cat sat calmly, tail flicking, eyes glowing under the crystal lights. It had moved with silence, struck with precision, and shown its nature. The predators had revealed their power, but the cat had revealed something else. Something the aliens did not yet understand. Captain Mara stepped forward. Her boots echoed against the stone floor, each step steady, each movement calm. She stood tall, her voice clear. "You have seen our predator," she said. "You have seen its silence, its patience, its skill. But you do not yet understand what it means." The crowd shifted uneasily. Delegates leaned forward, their eyes locked on the human representative. Some still sneered, unwilling to accept what they had seen. Others frowned, doubt creeping into their minds. The speaker raised his hand, silver skin shimmering. "Explain," he commanded. "Explain why this small creature is predator." Captain Mara nodded. She turned to the cat, watching as it licked its paw, calm and unbothered. "This is Felis catus," she said. "It has lived beside us for thousands of years. It is small, yes. But it is hunter. It stalks, it waits, it kills. It does not need size. It does not need strength. It needs only patience, silence, and skill. Her words carried across the chamber, heavy with truth. The aliens listened, their voices silent. The humans stood behind her, faces calm, eyes steady. They knew the truth. They had lived it. And now they would share it. Captain Mara continued. When our ancestors built homes, this predator lived with us. When pests threatened our food, this predator hunted them. When darkness filled the night, this predator walked beside us. It has survived storms, wars, and hunger. It has lived in deserts, forests, and cities. It has thrived everywhere we have thrived. It is not weak. It is perfect. The crowd murmured, whispers spreading through the seats. Some aliens shook their heads, unwilling to believe. It is too small, one hissed. It cannot matter. But others leaned closer, their eyes sharp. They had seen the cat move. They had seen its silence. They had felt its patience. And they began to understand. Captain Mara raised her hand, pointing to the predators around the arena. Look at your beasts, she said. They roar, they hiss, they swarm. They show their power with noise, with size, with hunger. But they cannot hide. They cannot wait. They cannot strike with silence. They are strong, yes. But they are not patient. They are not clever. Her words struck deep. The delegates shifted, their voices low. They looked at their predators, massive and loud, and then at the cat, small and silent. They saw the difference. They felt the truth. The cat stretched, claws glinting in the light. It stood, tail flicking, eyes sharp. It walked with soft steps, silent and smooth, weaving through the arena as if it owned the floor. The predators watched, their eyes following its path. The crowd leaned forward, breath held. The cat was not afraid. It was not weak. It was predator. Captain Mara spoke again. This predator does not need to prove itself with size. It proves itself with survival. It has lived beside us for thousands of years, hunting, killing, thriving. It is small, yes. But it is perfect. And it shows the truth of humanity. The speaker tilted his head, silver skin shimmering. The truth, he asked. What truth does this predator show? Captain Mara's voice was steady. The truth is this, humanity does not win with size. Humanity does not win with strength. Humanity wins with cleverness. Humanity wins with patience. Humanity wins with silence. We do not bring monsters. We bring hunters. We bring predators that survive, predators that thrive, predators that prove our nature. The crowd was silent. No laughter, no mockery, only awe. They had seen the cat move. They had seen its silence, its precision, its deadly grace. They had heard the human's words. And they knew the truth. Humanity had brought a predator. And it was enough. The war beast roared, shaking the walls. The winged predator dove, talons gleaming. The swarm buzzed, filling the air with dread. But the cat ignored them. It sat calmly, tail flicking, eyes glowing. It had no fear, no weakness. It was predator. And the aliens knew it. The speaker raised his hand, his voice heavy with authority. The revelation is clear, he said. Humanity has shown its predator. Small, yes. But deadly. Silent. Patient. Perfect. His words carried across the chamber, echoing through the crystal walls. The crowd listened, their voices silent. They had mocked, they had laughed, but now they understood. Humanity had proven itself. The cat sat in the center, calm and silent. Its eyes glowed under the lights. Its tail flicked, its body stilled. It was waiting. And though the aliens had mocked, though they had laughed, they now watched with respect. The revelation was complete. Humanity had brought a predator. And it was enough. The arena was still. The predators had shown their power, the cat had shown its skill, and the humans had spoken their truth. Now the chamber waited, heavy with silence, as the speaker rose once more. His silver skin shimmered under the crystal lights, his voice deep and commanding. The trial is complete, he said. The predators have revealed their nature. The council must decide. The delegates shifted uneasily. Their eyes moved from the massive war beast to the winged predator, from the endless swarm to the small cat sitting calmly in the center. The beasts roared, hissed, and buzzed, but the cat ignored them. It licked its paw, stretched, and yawned. It was calm, silent, unbothered. It was predator. The core spoke first, their scales rattling as they rose. Our beast is strength, they hissed. It crushes stone, it breaks bone, it shows power. Humanity's creature is nothing compared to this. Their voices were sharp, filled with pride. The Vela followed, wings spreading wide. Our predator is speed, they sang. It dives from the skies, it strikes with talons, it shows dominance. Humanity's creature is too small, too weak. Their voices were smooth, filled with arrogance. The Tsar clicked their mandibles, their swarm buzzing behind them. Our predator is hunger, they whispered. It strips flesh, it devours worlds, it shows endless need. Humanity's creature is fragile, laughable. Their voices were cold, filled with scorn. The crowd murmured, voices rising in agreement. Many still mocked, many still doubted. But others remained silent, their eyes locked on the cat. They had seen its silence, its patience, its deadly grace. They had felt the truth. And they could not ignore it. Captain Mara stepped forward, her voice calm. You speak of strength, speed, hunger, she said. But strength fades. Speed slows. Hunger consumes itself. What remains? Silence. Patience. Skill. Survival. That is predator. That is truth. Her words echoed through the chamber, heavy with meaning. The crowd fell silent, their voices caught in their throats. They looked at the cat, small and calm, and they saw the truth. It was not weak. It was not prey. It was predator. The speaker raised his hand, his silver skin shimmering. The council must decide, he said. Is humanity's predator worthy? Silence followed. Delegates looked at one another, their eyes uncertain. Some still sneered, unwilling to accept. Others nodded slowly, respect growing in their hearts. The chamber was divided, torn between pride and truth. Then, the cat moved. It rose slowly, stretching its body, claws glinting in the light. Its eyes narrowed, pupils sharp, gaze locked on the swarm. The crowd leaned forward, breath held. The cat crouched low, tail flicking, body still. Then, in a flash, it pounced. The movement was silent, precise, unstoppable. The cat struck with claws and teeth, faster than the eye could follow. A small creature squealed once, then fell silent. The cat stood over it, calm, eyes glowing. The crowd gasped. It was not size. It was not strength. It was skill. The war beast roared, shaking the walls. The winged predator dove, talons gleaming. The swarm buzzed, filling the air with dread. But the cat ignored them. It sat calmly, tail flicking, eyes glowing. It had no fear, no weakness. It was predator. The crowd was silent. No laughter, no mockery, only awe. They had seen the cat move. They had seen its silence, its precision, its deadly grace. They had heard the human's words. And they knew the truth. Humanity had brought a predator. And it was enough. The speaker raised his hand, his voice heavy with authority. The council has decided, he said. Humanity's predator is worthy. Humanity is worthy. Humanity has proven its nature. The chamber erupted, but not with laughter. With respect. Delegates rose, their voices filled with awe. The core bowed their heads, scales rattling. The Vela folded their wings, voices soft. The Tsar clicked their mandibles, swarm silent. They had mocked, they had laughed, but now they understood. Humanity had proven itself. Captain Mara stood tall, her eyes steady. She looked at the cat, calm and silent, and she smiled. Humanity had won, not with size, not with strength, but with cleverness, patience, and skill. Humanity had brought a predator. And it was enough. The cat sat in the center, tail flicking, eyes glowing. It licked its paw, stretched, and yawned. It was calm, silent, unbothered. It was Predator. And the galaxy knew it. The trial was complete. The respect was earned. Humanity had proven its place among the stars.